Hey, the sun's starting to come up over here, and it's about time where I normally go outside and check on my plants, make sure they're getting enough water. But today, I want to pot some things. Now, I've been propagating some Tradescantia Pallida, also known as Purple Heart, and it's about time to put it in a pot. So I'm going to take something that looks like this and put it in a pot like this. Okay, so here we go. This is my original Tradescantia Pallida Purple Heart plant. This is the mother plant. Now from this plant, I took cuttings as it got too long and I propagated that, and then I potted it in this small pot. I still had a few left that needed to be potted from that propagation experiment, and this is one of them, and I'm gonna put it in this pot. Now I want to make this bushy, so that's why I use this green plant tape. It's more like Velcro, but as you can see, the roots are nice and long and healthy. I'm going to keep this plant tape on here just to hold it in place. I'm going to grab some of this potting mix. This is just some regular potting mix that I got from, the hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whatever you want. I'm going to get a handful. It's only a handful left in here, but yeah, look at that. Look at that soil, that nice soil. This pot's only but so big, so I'm going to try to drop this in here. And of course the wind came and took a nice piece of that handful. If you ever get soil that has white little balls in it, that's called perlite. It basically prevents your soil from packing. I'm trying to pack this soil in here right now just because I want to make sure that the Purple Heart doesn't tip over, but it's not going to pack too tight. And once I clean this up, I'm gonna get some of this water that the plant was already propagating in. I'm gonna pour that back into this tiny pot. Just gonna pour that in there. And this soil is obviously really dry when I put it in the pot, but just using the same water it was propagating in should be enough to add a little moisture to the soil and also help the plant hold in this new potting mix. Gonna clean this up a little bit. And a little bit of soil that was on the pot, just clean that up a little bit. And last thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna trim it up a little bit. I want this to be a little bushy, but right now it's still in the stages of turning back purple. It's been outside, and because of that, it might have gotten scorched a little bit. So I'm just going to cut off the brown tips in any area that might be a little unsightly. Don't worry, it will grow back, and this particular plant grows back fast. So just going to trim that up, and there you go. You can see the tops are more purple than the bottom. That's because they've been outside longer, and this is what it will eventually look like. My tiny pot, my middle pot, and my original mother plant in its teapot. And you know what? There's a little baby coming up right here. I'm just gonna take this out, put this tiny Purple Heart in the tiny pot, and that should add some shape to it, help fill that out. So there you go, tiny Purple Heart in a tiny pot. And I want to see if I can keep it in this pot, trim it, and maintain that purple and bushy shape that I want to get. The plant grows up until it starts to go out, and it's going to continue to seek the light. So wherever you put it, if it's in a pot, just turn it so that it doesn't get too crazy, going towards the light one way and getting left heavy, right heavy. And you can just trim the brown tips off if it gets burnt as it gets unsightly. And again, if that plant breaks, you can just put it in some water or put it back in the dirt and it'll continue to grow. If you have a room in your house or a space with a skylight, it'll probably grow great in there. Any place where it gets a lot of light, you can think about ways to style your plant, whether you want to put it in a teapot or a tiny pot or a hanging pot. I hope I gave you a few ideas, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe and hit that bell for alerts for when the next video like this drops. If you've been watching the whole time and we're looking at this t-shirt, like, where can I get one? Go to sumsbrand.com and check out the green Sums line. I got a few tees like this with a print on the back of one of these plants. So this one in particular is a Monstera deliciosa. That one right there actually in the back. And I have another one with this beautiful Dieffenbachia on the back as well. But check out sumsbrand.com and use the discount code SUMS for a 10% discount on your entire order. Thanks again for watching. Peace until next time.